Sometimes we've got more than one thing inside the parentheses, and so we have to take each of those parts to the exponent, or raise each of those parts to the exponent. So we need to make sure that you know that you're going to raise everything that's inside the parentheses is raised to the power if everything is multiplied. So as we look at all these are all being multiplied together, so we are going to raise each of these to the power. So what that means is we're going to use that rule each time. We're going to multiply these numbers together. So I've got x to the 6th, 3 times 2 is 6, and y to the 8th, 4 times 2 is 8. This next part, the negative is being raised to the second power. So I'm really saying negative 3 to the second power. I'm also saying 8, or x, 8 times 2 is 16, x to the 16th power. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, and then I have x to the 16th power. On this example here, I have x to the 6 times 2 is 12, and then I have y to the negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6. This is the one that is not happy, so this is the one that needs spots. The x to the 12 is going to stay where it is, and the y to the 6 is going to move to the bottom of the fraction, so it becomes happy. And so my answer is x to the 12th over y to the 6th. Continuing on, we're going to simplify each expression, which means that we will not have any negative exponents. The same base will not appear twice. We won't have any power to powers. We'll have no parentheses, and we'll reduce all our coefficients. So we're going to look at some more complicated problems, and we're going to have to make sure that we're going through each of those things. So we're going to get rid of all the parentheses first, and so we're going to raise these all to this power. So I've got 3 to the 3rd power, and I've got x to the 5 times 3, so that'll be x to the 15th, times I've got 2 to the 3rd, and I have x to the 2 times 3, which is 6. That's power to a power rule. Now if you want, what we can do is let's get rid of these numbers, and I have 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, x to the 15th, times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, x to the 6th. To finish this problem, we'd multiply the 27 times 8, just like we always have. We'd get 56, and so we get 216. X, keep your base, and now we need to add our exponents together, because when we don't have power to power, we are actually adding those together, because this would be like having 15 x's written in a row and 6 x's written in a row, and so now we have 21 x's all together. The next problem, again, let's get rid of the power to, or the parentheses part first. So it says power to the power. So we've got 4 to the 3rd power, because this is 1 times 3. I've got x to the 5 times 3, which is 15, times I've got just negative 2. This one's not being raised to any power except 1, so I've got negative 2 to the 1st power and x to the 3rd power, x to the 3 times 1 power. Now, if I look at this, don't multiply 4 to the 3rd times negative 2. You need to first do 4 to the 3rd. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. X to the 15th times negative 2, x to the 3rd. 64 times negative 2 is negative 128. X to the, I have 15 x's written in a row, and here I have 3 more x's written in a row, so I have 18 total x's. Next problem, we have some parentheses here. This is the part that's in parentheses. So I've got b squared times b to the 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Now I have the same base. So I keep my base and I add those together. So 2 and negative 6. 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. Highlighting this because it's not happy. There are no negative exponents in our answers. So we'll move this to the bottom of the fraction and we'll put a 1 on top.